Bo. Right here. Congrats on the win. Not to rain on the parade at all here, but Jamie Pickett's manager has just reached out to one of our reporters, and they said they're going to be filing a grievance over this result to turn it to a no contest because they feel he was kneed in the groin, which directly led to the takedown and the finish. What's your response to that?
That's weird, bro.
Did you feel like you hit a blow at all, or no?
No, I don't. I think honestly, I know exactly what happened. I mean, I hit him in the leg, in the thigh, and I had him in a bad position on the wall. So he wanted to get off the wall, and he wanted the ref to stop it. Which, if I would have actually hit him low, I would feel bad because I don't want to win that way. I'm not a cheater. I'm not somebody that tries to take shortcuts, and so if I did hit him low, I would have just relaxed probably, or just let the ref stop it. But I didn't hit him low at all, so it's a weird move, bro.
Yeah. So besides that, obviously you lived up to your promise, finished him in the first round. In terms of how you got there, though, do you feel like you could have done stuff better? Do you feel like you executed perfectly?
No, I absolutely could have done a lot of things better. I was just talking with my coach, and I got to stop throwing high kicks right away because I've 2 out of my 4 fights I've fallen on my butt, looked like a dummy. But yeah, that was fun. Little slip there, all good. But yeah, no, I think overall the performance was as expected, not exceptional, just as expected. And I'm grateful to go out there and not get hit and get the win.
With the choke, did you feel like technique-wise, you could have done something different, or is this just a guy who has obviously some experience, and as you fight higher up the chain, guys are going to know how to last longer and defend things?
I'm sure that there are a lot of things that I can do better, and so I'm going to go back, work that position, and continue to improve my subs. That's something I think I can take a lot of people out with, and so I want to continue to get better at that. And I think at the same time, he did have solid defense. He knew to try how to kind of hold me off for however long he did, but at the same time, while I had it, I knew that I was going to get it eventually. It just wasn't going to be super fast.
And you were being very calm the whole lead up to this fight and everything. Walking out there, though, getting in there, the crowd, everything, did it feel like home, or was there a bit of nerves?
There's always nerves. Anytime you're going to do something like this, I think anybody says, there's no nerves, they're just trying to act like a cool guy. And I feel a lot of nerves. So, for me, luckily I've had a ton of experiences like this through wrestling and, wrestling in big stages that I had the opportunity to at Penn State. And so, yeah, I would guess, just to kind of recap my experience, I was back in the tunnel and just, I felt very serious, very all right, let's get this done, take care of business. And then as soon as I walked out and heard the fans screaming and cheering and everybody wanted to high five me, I just had to smile because that was so cool to get that support. And I just wanted to embrace that and be very present in that moment and enjoy it. And yeah, overall, awesome experience.
And now that that's behind you, last thing for me, where do you go? The debut's under your belt, and you can kind of move forward and look at things. So what do you want next?
I think that for me, I've had 6 minutes of cumulative time in a cage, so there's not a ton of experience there. So I need to get my experience through training. I've got the support of all the guys at American Top Team. I'm able to go down there, train with high-level guys, get time with super strong pros, guys who've got a ton of experience. So I need to develop there and continue to improve. So the next on the list for me is just keep getting better and get my experience in training instead of in the actual cage.
Over here. When you said you felt some nerves before this fight, was that just because of the magnitude of the moment, or just in the fact that you're about to go fist fight a human being?
For sure, both. Anytime you're going to compete, there should be nerves, right? For me, I look at nerves as a good thing because I know that I care about this and I'm excited and I want to compete my best because I put a lot of time and effort and energy into this, right? I've only been in MMA a year and a half, but I've spent my whole life pretty much in combat sports training for moments like this. And so the nerves to me are a good thing and something that I'm grateful for, and that it just makes everything fun, right? I want the nerves because that's how I know I'm living life to the fullest.
And obviously you said your whole time in college at Penn State, UFC was in the back of your mind. You said you watched the UFC growing up. Was there any moment, either in the walkout or in the octagon or something, where this it might even just be a small thing like, this is not what I expected. Like maybe Bruce Buffer's shorter than you thought, or the lights are brighter, or something like that.
I don't think that I had like, I guess, set expectations where I was like, oh, I expect it to be this way. I expect it to be that way. You know, I guess the most unexpected thing was like how loud I felt the crowd cheered for me. You know, I didn't really expect that, right? Like obviously, like if I'm at a home match at Penn State, like everybody's gonna go nuts for me. But to come here and have the reception that I did was very, very cool. You know, I felt like there was a lot of love in the crowd for me, and that's exciting to be in my pro debut and already have, you know, a lot of support from fans.
The final one for me is, it seems like the second you signed with the UFC, the argument over, or the question over who's the best wrestler in MMA kind of came to an end. You might disagree, but that seems to be a lot of fans. So in your mind, if say fans put you number one, who would you as an All-American wrestler put below you as the second best wrestler in the UFC?
That's a good question. You know, I think there are a lot of high-level guys that do things really well. And if you look at straight wrestling ability, I would have to go with probably Henry Cejudo at this point. You know, Olympic gold medalist, guy who, you know, not only Olympic gold medalist, but an Olympic gold medal, youngest ever at the time. And, you know, he didn't compete in college wrestling, but still obviously have to respect his skills, and a guy that uses wrestling in his fights as well. So, yeah, I would probably put him right up there.
Hey, Bo, back here. Bo, one more question on the nerves. How would you compare going out there tonight compared to, you know, full arena, competing for the championship at Penn?
It's very similar. You know, I would say that it's kind of the same thing, but it just scaled up, right? You know, the UFC, I truly believe there's no organization and no platform like it that is able to put events together like this. And for me to be a part of this at, you know, my fourth pro fight, and at 27 years old, only training, like I said, a year and a half, is such an amazing thing. And I'm really grateful. You know, I think I've said that word 150 times over this entire fight week, but that's really, I would say, the overwhelming emotion of this whole experience is just a lot of gratitude and appreciation to, you know, be here.
Out of curiosity, when you imagine fighting for the UFC, did you imagine doing scrums in a windy tent with planes going by?
Well, fortunately for me, I've had some experience, you know, with guys with, you know, Jorge Masvidal. I was able to train with him and be a part of stuff like this. So this isn't my first rodeo, and I've been able to kind of learn and develop and understand what the process is like secondhand. And now getting to do it myself, I feel like those experiences were super valuable.
Picking up this victory, obviously now the name grows and, you know, more targets on your back. How do you manage that? Because on the one hand, you want to develop at the right pace. On the other hand, obviously you're probably thinking bring them on. What do you think about when you think about your next opponents coming up?
Yeah, it's funny that you said bring them on, because that's literally what I was thinking. Bring them on, baby. I'm ready. So, you know, at the end of the day, my management team, my coaches, those guys will help me decide what's right for me in my career. And I'm not too prideful to admit I have a long way to go to get where I want to be, right? My goal is to be UFC champ, is to be the best fighter in the world. And that's a long road. That doesn't just happen in a day. It doesn't happen in a year. It doesn't happen, you know, it might take 5 years. It might take longer. So, you know, for me, it's being consistent and improving, getting better every single day. And I have a great team around me, and I trust all these people wholeheartedly. So I'm going to continue to improve, get better, and we'll all achieve that together.
Go over here. A lot of fighters on this card, just with the timing, want to compete on International Fight Week in July. Is that kind of what you like? Do you like fighting in Vegas? Is that kind of what you're looking at next?
It's possible. We'll see. You know, obviously that's a great opportunity. Again, probably going to be a huge card. So, like I said, I'll talk with my team and make the decision.
And you sort of talked about the fact you haven't been training MMA that long, but I know fighters also like to keep active. How do you find that balance of, you know, a lot of fighters, it's 3 times a year. Is that reasonable, or do you want even less than that and spend more time in the gym?
No, that's reasonable. I think 3 is reasonable. We'll see, you know. I again, just want to focus on continuing to improve. And it's hard coming from my background because I love to compete, right? I was used to getting, as a kid, I got over 100 matches a year. In college, I was getting 40, 50 matches a year. And that's what I love to do. But at the same time, this is a different game. And, you know, luckily, again, I have people that have been involved in this since the inception of MMA. And those guys are going to lead me in the right direction.
And how do you celebrate after that first UFC victory?
Man, I'm a simple guy, so I'm just gonna get some In-N-Out, get an In-N-Out burger, and head back to my Airbnb and chill with my family, my friends, all the people I love. I don't party, I don't do any of that stuff. I'm just gonna chill with my people and get back to training on Monday.
When you were wrestling back in as a kid, how would you have seen this happening? Would you have seen it, or did you ever envision it until college?
No, I envision this. Just if you watch an event, right? For me as a competitor, as somebody that always has had big goals, huge goals, you automatically visualize yourself in that place, right? When I was watching these fights, watching Chuck Liddell fight, Randy Couture fight, Tito Ortiz, guys like that, you obviously, for me as a young dreamer, I guess you visualize yourself in their position, and so. Obviously, before I was fully focused on wrestling up until recently, but it was always a vision, and I think that vision is very powerful, and it's helped me get to this point. I think you have to visualize it, and you got to know the end before the beginning starts.
And when you were wrestling at junior nationals and cadet nationals, did you know the UFC fighters that had gone through those tournaments like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a student of the sport, not only wrestling but MMA, and so I study it the same as you would study biology in a college class, and I'm watching film, I'm breaking things down, I'm paying attention to results, and that's just part of my passion. I'm just so passionate about what I do, and I love it so much, and it's a big opportunity for me, so I want to make the most of it, and I got to pay attention to details and make sure that I account for every single thing that I can, and yeah, that's kind of my approach.
Thank you.